Today we're gonna be talking about if the diet that you're following is really working, and find out that if there is some flaws in the diet and see what you can do to fix them. So let's begin by telling you a couple things. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't want to be right. I don't have to be right. I'm just putting some thoughts out there for you to think about it and see if dieting is the best choice for you. So usually when somebody wants to lose weight, they don't really want to lose weight. What they want to do is actually look great. If they don't lose weight and they're looking great, then that's what they're aiming for. And the perception on losing weight for them is that once they lose weight, they're gonna look good. This is the reason why many people opt to do surgeries, and they start lifting their butts, they start getting boob jobs and things like that. And the reason is because they want to look good. So when you think about weight loss, think about if you really want to lose weight, because losing weight, you can achieve it by doing a diet, and you can get rid of your carbohydrates, you can rehydrate yourself, you can even cut your arm and you can still lose weight, right? So I want you to think about what you really want when we're talking about weight loss. And when I talk about weight loss, I actually talk about fat loss. So let's clarify that a little bit, because many people, especially women, are confused with this. So when our members come to me, usually have some trouble areas they want to get rid of. Inner thighs, their butt, sometimes the love handles and the wings and things like that. So they come to me and they tell me I want to get rid of this and blah blah blah. And we're talking. The best thing I do is listen to them and understand them. And once I understand them, I give them the real information that other people should be giving them. Remember that the weight loss industry is a billionaire company, so everybody is looking for a way to make money, and because they want to make money, and what people really want is something easy and fast. So these people trying to find the way to give you something easy and fast. So there is a lot of myth out there about weight loss. So when they say, yeah, you can get rid of the muffin top, you can get rid of the wings, you can get rid of this, target this by doing this, you can use this pomade, you can use this belt, you can do this diet, etc. It's because you want something fast, you want to target that area, and that's because you want it to be easy. So these marketing people, they're very good doing that. So what I do with our members is telling them the truth about weight loss. So first of all, I clarified that if it's weight what they want to lose, or actually fat and tone their body. So as I'm not surprised, and probably you're not surprised, what they want to do is tone their body and actually have a good body, a nice looking body. Some other people they do this for health, and doing it for vanity, doing it for looking good, and doing it for health. There is nothing wrong with it. I'm just telling you what is your goal, and I wanted this to be clear for you. And many people care about their health, and I bet you care about your health. And there is many people who don't see how doing the wrong thing right now is going to affect their health in the future, because it's not like a decision that you make right now. Let's say you eat the wrong food right now. You start drinking, and the next day you just have a couple glasses of wine, and the next day you are overweight. Then you probably won't take those. You won't drink those glasses of wine, because the next day you get the results right away. Or if you eat processed food, junk food, one day and the next day you overweight, you probably won't make that decision. The problem with this is that you don't get the results of these bad decisions every day. You get the results a year after, 5 years after, or even 20 years after. So when we talk about your healthy body, we talk about your health, we talk about you looking good, we talk about the everyday decisions that you're making. So since many people don't see those accumulations of those decisions, they don't see those results right away, they're still making the wrong decisions. So If you start eating junk food right now, you're not gonna have diabetes tomorrow. You're not gonna have cancer the next day, or you're not gonna develop osteoporosis the next day. It's gonna take you time. It's gonna take you years, and if you continue doing that, it's gonna come to the point that actually you acquire that disease or the diseases for the wrong foods that you're eating. Because remember, this is how the body works. By the way, enzymes, you have enzymes in your stomach. The enzymes are what breaks the food down. So just think about those enzymes like construction workers. If you have a house that is rotten, then it needs to be taken down and needs to be rebuilt because it's actually rotten from the bottom, and if you don't do something for it, mold is going to grow, you know that it's going to collapse one day, etc. So what these workers are going to do, they're gonna come and take every single piece of that house, break it down because it's trash. And then they're gonna rebuild it, and they're gonna rebuild it. I bet when they rebuild it, and they're gonna get the best quality products, and they're gonna get something that it works for years, and it's gonna be new. Instead of getting another piece of junk house and then rebuild your house with that piece of junk house, then what is the whole point of doing that if you actually building the same house? So this is exactly what your enzymes are doing. What your enzymes are doing, they're when you eat something, okay, they break that food apart. They get the nutrients that you need, and they rebuild the new body that you actually have. And other enzymes are coming to your body and break the old you and renew it with the new food that actually is taken from the food that you're eating. Now think about this. It takes 7 years for your body to be rebuilt. It's rebuilding every day, but it takes 7 years for it to be rebuilt from the new sources that you're getting, which is the food. And the same happens with your cells, which of course is your body. The same happens with your fats. The same happens with your bones, with a lot of things in your body. It's not coincidence that it takes 7 years for your fats in your body to actually rebuild and come out with new fats and come out with a new body. Anyway, so my point out of that of course, if you're eating junk food, you're not gonna get the disease right away. You're gonna start getting the symptoms maybe in a couple years, but it's gonna take you at least 7 years before you can start getting that problem, because your body has actually rebuilt with that junk food. Anyway, going back to the point that we were talking about weight loss and your goals and talking about the diet, I want you to think, what do you really want? Now think about the future. As an example, my goals doesn't have to be your goals, of course. But I know what I want because I'm very clear on my goals, and I know what I want. I know what I'm supposed to do today. So in 50 years, in 100 years, I'm still healthy. I'm happy with my body. I'm happy with the decisions that I'm making, because I don't want to do this for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. I'm planning to live over 100 years. I have a mission here on earth that I have to actually take care of. So because of that, I want to live long. I'm not going to stop working. I'm not planning to retire because I love what I do. So because of that, I take care of my health. So eating junk food is not in my list. So let's talk a little bit about nutrients, because they're very important. So let's begin by making some conclusions. And like I said, you can comment in this video. You can add. We can discuss about this. But let's put a little bit of common sense about where we're coming from. If you think that we're coming from Adam and Eve, if we coming from the Bible, or if we coming from the monkey, or if we coming from another planet, the reality is that we don't know the things that we know right now. So we didn't have a pan back in the past. We create that in the future. We didn't have oils. We don't have a lot of things. So even though however we actually started in this earth, the first and the only things that we were able to eat, it was fruits, plants, probably grains. If you think about it, that's everything that the human being actually needs. And the reason why we need these things is because they have nutrients. And let me tell you something, because here is the first myth. The fruits have a lot of sugar and they make you fat. So let's begin with that myth. So there is some diets out there that demonize actually fruits. They say don't eat fruits because you're gonna become fat. So first of all, I eat a lot of fruit, and actually instead of making me fat, they give me a lot of energy, and they actually help me lose weight. So that's the first myth. Second example that I can give you is Steve Jobs actually was a fruitarian, and he did eat a lot of food, and he didn't have any overweight problems. I have a friend that actually has some health issues, and he is actually one of the skinniest guys I ever met. His diet is only in fruits. He doesn't need anything else. I have seen him shop in the supermarket, and the only thing he buys is fruits, not even veggies. I'm not saying that this is the truth. I'm not arguing that he's right or he's wrong. I'm just telling you that he doesn't believe that veggies are healthy. So that's the reason why he only eats fruits, but he's super skinny. So that's a myth, and let me tell you why. The If you think about fruit, let's think about an apple, for example. 80% of that apple, it's water. Okay, because 80% of the apple is water. When you dehydrate the apple, it becomes very tiny. Within that, okay, that actually doesn't have any water, that is just very tiny. That's the whole thing right there. It's not sugar. You're gonna have fibers, you're gonna have vitamins, some minerals, and then you're gonna have sugar. Okay, and the amount of sugar that you're getting out of that apple is very minimal. Not only that, but at the same time, it's a whole food. What do I mean with the whole food? When you eat it, okay, even though it's called simple carbohydrates, it's still a whole food. When you eat it, doesn't go straight to the liver, doesn't transform in fat. No. What happens is that you start digesting the fiber and the same sugar that we have with that fruit. Your enzymes uses that to break the fruit apart and take every nutrient where it needs to go. And the sugar doesn't get stored as a fat because it's not enough, and the body processes it differently, and you're still using some of that sugar to actually digest the same apple. So that's not applicable that you eating a lot of sugar in fruits. That's a completely lie. So when you eat refined sugar, now refined sugar comes from fruit. That's true. But it's not in the natural state anymore. Now it's refined, now it's processed. Now you're eating sugar alone without the fiber, the nutrients, and so on. Therefore, the enzymes doesn't break it. You eat it, it goes straight to the liver, and then that is transformed into fat because now you're eating straightforward sugar. Now, first, that's the first thing. Second, no matter how much fruit you eat, you cannot eat a lot of fruit because your body always stops you when it's full because of the fiber, the minerals, etc. Remember, this is the reason why you're eating, because of the nutrients. So when you eat because of those nutrients, your body gets full, you don't crave more. Now, with the sugar, you don't get those nutrients. Guess what happened? You're always hungry because you don't get those nutrients, and you can overeat sugar, and this is a problem with a lot of people that overeat refined sugar. So now that we got that myth out of the way, let's come back. Remember that the reason that you're eating is because you need nutrients. You need carbohydrates because you need carbohydrates. And that's another myth of those any of the diets that are out there that avoid carbohydrates. That's a lie. Now, refined carbohydrates, processed carbohydrates, just like sugars, yes, they should be avoided because has been man-made, they has been refined, they has been processed, and so on. And we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But what the real carbohydrates, such as potatoes, such as veggies, which potato is a veggie, fruits, those grains such as rice, quinoa, and things like that, those are healthy. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should be eating this because we have been raising differently. Our body metabolizes foods in a different way. So that's another thing that we're going to be talking about in a couple minutes. But my point out of this is that right here, carbohydrates, your body needs carbohydrates. The second thing is your body needs protein. Now, it's a myth out there that you can just get protein from meat. You can get it from veggies, you can get it from fruits, you can get it from grains. Now, I'm not saying that you should become a vegetarian. I honestly believe the vegetarian is the best way to go. Now, there's people that eat meat, it's their decisions. I think if you eat the right meats, are okay to eat it. As an example, my grandfather, he's actually 100 years of age and he eats meat. He doesn't overeat meats, he eats a lot of veggies and fruits. By the way, he's not overweight, he's independent, he doesn't use a cane, he gets up early every morning and he sweeps the house, he carries blocks, he carries wood and things like that, because we are from a remote area in Mexico. Anyway, the point is not about my grandfather right here, but the point that I want to get across here is that he eats meat and he's still healthy. So my belief about being vegetarian is not that I want to make that belief to you. I'm not a vegetarian, but I believe it's the best way to go. But it's okay to eat meat. Anyway, you need protein and you need minerals. You need vitamins and you need water. Those are the main nutrients that you need. So that's the reason why you're eating. Now, if we think about our ancestor, wherever we're coming from, the reason why they used to eat is because they used to be hungry, because they need those nutrients, because they need to survive, and that's why they used to go hunt. That's why they used to harvest and things like that. They didn't eat because they wanna eat. They wanna taste these delicious things and blah blah blah. We start evolving and making those things as we continue our evolution. So that should be the reason why you should be eating, because you're hungry, because you need those nutrients. Now, it's not the reason why we eat right now. The reasons why we eat right now is because of convenience and it's because of flavor. So yes, we eat because we're hungry, but we don't think about the nutrients that we're getting. We just eat whatever is in front of us. If it tastes good, we eat it. But if it doesn't taste good, we don't eat it. What we do is just try to look for that flavor and make our stomach full without thinking the nutrients and how that is going to affect our future. So this is when it gets a little bit exciting. I want you to think about what nutrients that your body needs. I know you know a lot about nutrition. I met a lot of people that knows a lot about nutrition. This is not new. And they start talking about vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, zinc, potassium, calcium, etc. And they start getting supplements. Yeah, why they start getting supplements? Because they're not getting these nutrients from their food, because they ate any junk food. And even if they take those supplements they're not giving them the nutrients they need, because our body doesn't process these supplements. Our body is not made to actually process these processed food, because supplements, that's what it is, it's processed food. So what you really want to get those nutrients from is from your veggies, from your fruit, from your grains, and from your meat. So when you think about your nutrients, you're going to get everything you need from those sources. So let's talk about processed foods. Let's talk about going back to the diet. So some diets avoid meat, some other diets avoid fat, some other diets avoid fruits, some other diets avoid grains, and so on. You name it. And there is the fat of the keto, there is the fat of the paleo diet, there is the fat of the fat diet, and there is thousands and thousands of diets out there, and people benefit from this. They all sell you the keto this, the paleo this, the high fat this, and the bulletproof diet, and blah blah blah, because they all benefit from it. They're just looking for money. And because they benefit from it, of course they're gonna try to sell it. They're gonna try to come out with these studies, and some of them may be true, but it's only for one person. These studies, they can be real when they're not applicable for everybody. So what you need to think about when you actually doing a diet is, what's your goal? If you're planning to lose weight for 1 month, yeah, dehydrate yourself. Why not? Get rid of your carbohydrates. You're gonna lose weight. Why not? So get rid of your muscle. Yeah, why not? If you're planning to lose weight only for 1 month, you can lose 10 pounds. That doesn't mean that you're losing fat, and that doesn't mean that you're looking healthy, and that doesn't mean that you're looking great. Now, if you want to be healthy, if you want to have a nice body, if you want to look great, if you want to have energy, if you want to be happy with yourself, and this is what I mean happy with yourself. When we talk about a diet, this is what I mean with your goal. Are you talking about doing it for 1 month? Are you talking about doing it for 2 months? Are you talking about doing it for 1 year or for your whole life? That's the real question that you want to do, that you want to ask yourself. And the reason why is because if you start dieting, yes, you're going to lose that weight, but as soon as you go back to eating the same, you're going to regain it. So what is the whole point of you actually doing the diet? So so once you find out what you really want, then you can start making conclusions. You want to lose weight for life, you want to lose fat, you want to look good, so then you need to make lifestyle changes. And those lifestyle changes, they should be, I should say they should be small. You can do it however you want it, but make sure they're sustainable. That whatever change you do, it should be sustainable for life. And be honest with yourself. If you're ready to change, you're not gonna have a nice body if you're not ready to change. You're never gonna see a person having a nice body, a toned body, if that person is not an athlete. And it's not because he or she doesn't deserve it. I think everybody deserves whatever they want to get, but that person hasn't developed the habits to have that body. You're not gonna have you're not gonna see a person who's actually successful in their career if that person hasn't developed the habits to become successful in their career. And the same happens in general in the whole life, in any area that you can talk about. So my point out of that is, if you're ready to change, if you're ready to be the new person, and what I mean the new person who has lost those 10 pounds, I mean, you have to develop that new person. You have to develop those habits to become the new person, to lose those 10 pounds. Because if you go back to who you used to be before, you're going to regain those 10 pounds. But if you now the new person, they have changed those habits to get rid of those 10 pounds, you're going to stay like that forever. If you want to improve it, if you want to lose more weight, if you want to tone your body, so then you have to continue changing some of those habits. So, going back to the diet, you need to ask yourself a couple questions. Is this true? I'm eating my nutrients from this diet? All the nutrients that you need. Because if this diet is talking about some nutrients, let's talk about carbohydrates, for example. Carbohydrates. When you eat fruits, you're eating carbohydrates. When you eat veggies, you're eating carbohydrates. When you eat grains, you're eating carbohydrates. Okay? So when you buy something that is processed out there that says low in carbs, first of all, they're lying. So let's compare the difference between one and the other. Remember the explanation that I give you about a fruit? Okay, the same applies for any whole food that you can think about. When you eat a broccoli, when you eat an apple, when you eat rice, when you eat quinoa, when you eat oatmeal, anything of that is a whole food. Doesn't come without the nutrients that you need. It comes with the nutrients that you need. So therefore, you're not only eating the carbohydrates, you're eating the whole thing, and the way the body actually digest that is completely different than a processed thing, which I already explained to you, and I don't want to go over it, but just think about that. If you eat and broccoli, it's the same concept. Now, it's not that I don't want to go over it, it's because I don't want you to get bored out of this video. So let's go to the next point. When we talk about processed food, well, now we're talking about energy bars, we're talking about prepared meals, they're frozen, we talk about protein shakes, we talk about any other thing that you think that is actually packaged, already made, that has chemicals and preservatives, usually is processed. A lot of people say, yeah, but it's low in sugar. Yeah, but it's low in carbohydrates. Yeah, but it says that it's organic. Yeah, but it says that it's a keto diet. Yeah, but it says that this and that and that. That's a completely lie. It says that it's healthy. It says that it's coming from whole foods. It's a completely lie. So, This is the key out of this video. If you're gonna get something out of this video, this is what you should get out of this video. Whenever you buy something, either buy a whole food, an apple, make sure it's organic. Okay? A broccoli, make sure it's organic and it's fresh. Okay? A piece of meat, make sure it's grass fed. Okay? Make sure it's organic because they're whole foods. Now, if you're buying something that is packaged and it's already made, what you want to look at is the ingredients. Don't forget about the calories. The calories doesn't matter. If you drink 100 calories of beer, if you eat 100 calories of broccoli, you're getting two completely different things. In the broccoli, you're getting all the nutrients that you need. All the nutrients that you need. Everything. The veggies has everything. With the beer, you just get empty calories. You get nothing. So you can't compare one or the other. So forget about the calories when you read the ingredients. Forget about low in sugar. Forget about anything else in the label. You want to read the ingredients. Let's say, for example, that you buy canned beans. So I remember my mom used to prepare beans for me. And she used to cook beans in water. She used to put an onion. She used to put a garlic. And salt. And she will cook those beans in low for hours, probably like 5 hours, something like that. So everything that I'm telling you right there is whole foods, except the salt, right? But if we talk about it, we know what it is, right? We know that we know what's an onion, we know what's a garlic, we know what's a bean, we know what's water, and we know what's salt. My mom never used high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, vitamin D, never put anything such as artificial flavor or natural flavor or artificial coloring, nothing of that. And this is just a couple ones that I mentioned. If you start reading the ingredients and the package, you're gonna find out a lot of them. You're not gonna find 2 or 3, you're gonna find like 20. So if you go and buy beans, the example that I'm giving you right now, for me, personally, maybe in India, maybe in Argentina, maybe in Canada, maybe in Afghanistan, maybe in whatever country they cook it completely different. But if they cook it completely differently, they're gonna put ingredients that I can recognize the natural. So, for example, if I'm buying beans, I'm looking for beans, I'm looking for water, I'm looking for salt, I'm looking for onion, I'm looking for garlic, maybe pepper, maybe oil, okay? Maybe parsley, maybe cilantro. I don't know, all those things are actually whole foods, right? They can be there. But if you're talking about any other chemical, so then it's not legitimate anymore. It's processed. You're gonna get fat and you're gonna start actually a disease by eating these type of foods. So when we talk about diet and they talking about carbohydrates, don't put it in the whole foods. Okay? They trying to sell you something and a packaged thing. Eat this bar, take this protein, buy this food, and blah blah blah. Why? Because they're selling you something. And if it's a real legitimate diet, so then what we're talking about getting rid of those refined carbohydrates, those refined sugars, and so on. And all the diet should say whole foods. So think about that when you're dieting. Now, let's go back to the goal. If you want to lose 10 pounds, think about it. It's not about dieting and doing it for a month because you're going to regain that 10 pounds later if you go back to being the same. You want to make those changes. So for example, if you eat cereal in the morning for breakfast, if you haven't made that conclusion yet, yes, most of the cereals that are out there, even though they say they're healthy, they are actually processed. They have a lot of ingredients. They're processed, chemicals, and they hide it in vitamins. They hide it in different ways. So yes, you have to get rid of your cereal, and now you have to buy something that is good for you. You can buy oatmeal. You can start doing a green smoothie. You can do eggs with avocado. There is many choices that you can do as breakfast, but you need to change that for life. If you drink a lot, if you want to lose that weight, cut your drinking. Be honest with you. If you're not cut your drinking, it's gonna be difficult for you. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but every single thing adds up. And if you eating a candy bar here, if you're having 2 glasses of 2 drinks a night, if you eating a processed food, if you stopping by a fast food, everything is gonna add up, and by the end, you're still eating those wrong foods that actually put you where you are. So once you make a small change, keep that change forever. Okay, start exercising. Yes, exercising is gonna help you with that physique that you're looking for. And depending on how great you wanna look, not everybody's willing to pay the price to actually have a very nice stone body, and it's fine. You don't have to do that. Like many people are not willing to become millionaires, billionaires, because it requires a lot of effort. They want a house, they want a car, and they want some freedom, and it's fine. There is nothing wrong with it. If they're happy, that's what they want. And some people wants to be billionaires and they want to put the effort to be billionaires. So then they are allowed to do that. So the same thing applies to your body. If you want to have a very nice stone body, you have to pay the price, which is not easy. It requires a lot of effort. When you're exercising, you have to put the effort, even if you feel like it or not feel like it. I have a client that we were talking about eating, and she said that she eats junk food because she likes food, and she said that she gets tired of eating veggies and eating oatmeal and things like that. And I told her that, yeah, and it's completely fine. She can do whatever she wants, but she needs to be honest with herself that she really cares about her body or she cares about the junk food. And she said that she really wants to get the body. And we talk about weightlifting a little bit. I put this example. If you want to tone your body, and if you chest press into 35s, and yeah, there's some days, even everybody, and you'll agree with me, and you've been in this industry of weightlifting, and you agree with me that some days you come very powerful and you can lift very heavy, like you, if you lift in those 35 pounders, you feel like you can rock it, and you can do it no problem. Some days it's just life is not going the way it's supposed to go. You don't have the energy, and you're tired or you're sick or you're depressed or whatever. You don't have the energy to do it, and because you don't have the energy to do it, you don't do it. So if life worked that way, everybody will be achieving our goals at any time, any point, because we won't do whenever we feel like it, and we don't feel like it, we won't do it. And the problem is it doesn't work like that. If you really want to get there, you feel like it or you don't feel like it, you have to still do the same. And that's what I do. Some days I feel like I can conquer the world, I can do everything, and some other days I just don't feel it, but I still do the same. I still do the same no matter how difficult it is for me. And the same goes with food. If you want to get to your body, it doesn't matter how difficult it is. You still need to continue to eat healthy because it's a lifestyle if you feel like it or not. I put an example. She has a son, and we were talking about if she needed to run a mile because it's, by the way, this was in the winter, and it was very cold, and she doesn't like the cold. And I told her, how about if it was snowing or raining in this moment and you need to run a mile because your son is dying, and the only way to get there is by you running. You don't think about it. You just get out there and you just do it. That's a sense of urgency. When you have the sense of urgency, you go and do it. She won't care if it was cold, if it was snowy, if it was rainy. She will just run to save her son because she loves her son, because she cares about her son, because her son is her life, because she really loves that boy, which is, it's good, right? So if we all have the same that sense of urgency for anything we do, will we achieve our goals. So I said the same thing applies to your health. If you really care about your health, if you really want to get to your goals, doesn't matter if you feel like it or not, you do it. So think about it once again. Think about your goal. Think about when do you want to lose that weight? How long do you want to lose it? You want to have a nice body, or you just want to lose the weight because you want to lose it? Follow this advice about dieting. Remember, it's not about dieting, it's about eating healthy. And achieve your goals. If you have any questions, please comment in this video and I'll be glad to answer. Hope this video helped.